Yo, what's going on, Ghost here. Today I am bringing you guys another comparison video between the Groza and FFAR. Now, I've made this video in the past, but the situation with the Groza and FFAR has drastically changed since that video, and some people have called the Groza the new FFAR. I know that a few weeks ago it received an update where the last barrel actually gave it more damage, but I also know that that change was reverted like in the latest update. But I think it's still good to look at the whole situation and see if the Groza is, right now, better than FFAR. But before we get into that, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2K. We are very close to 1.6K, so you know what I'm saying. If we could hit that soon, that I'd be very appreciative. Man, that word's hard to say for me. Also, if you find this video entertaining or useful, hit that like button. And also, I want to plug my Twitch real quick because your boy just got a face cam or a webcam. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I got it for school, but, I could use it for streaming and whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying? Over on my Twitch channel, I have this channel point reward. It's 100,000 for to get a face reveal. And if you don't know what channel points are, basically it's this little thing on Twitch where you get rewarded for watching the stream. And over time, you accumulate these channel points. It's totally free, totally just all you have to do is watch. And you know what I'm saying? If someone hits 100K and redeems it, your boy's going to have to do a face reveal no matter what. And then potentially that'll open up an opportunity to make face cam videos / streams. I'm not getting too much into that. But anyways, man, with that being said, let's get into the comparison. And here I have the recoil pattern for the Groza, which seems kind of weird, but when you put on your attachments or whatnot, it's not that bad. It's very manageable. As you can see, this is my class setup, and I know I just talked about the last barrel getting the revert back to its old self, but I don't know. I don't really know what the true best barrel is for the Groza, so I just decided to use the last barrel anyway, and it still did work. To be honest, I know that in the buff that they gave to it initially, it gave it like 2 more damage or whatever, but then it got reverted. But again, the gun still feels very powerful. I will say that compared to an FFAR, it's not as powerful in the sense that the FFAR shoots really fast, we notice, and the damage for that gun is just crazy. And the Groza can't compete with it, but the fire rate on FFAR it's just crazy, obviously. But I have been able to outgun FFARs. I think this gun is a lot more stable, a lot easier to control, especially now with FFAR receiving its nerf and you having to use different attachments to get speed, but at the cost of recoil. I don't know. Some people again aren't using field agent foregrip, and so that increases the recoil in your gun. And with a gun like this, where I don't need to do any of that, I'm good. The thing I like the most about this weapon is the fact that I'm able to use my suppressor, and I don't have to try to find a cheesy class setup to negate any change that the gun received. It still feels really good. The one thing I have a problem with though is the iron sight. I think a lot of people have this problem. The iron sight seems to be bugged. It has this weird thing where you swear that the bullets just don't be hitting people. And so I tried using the iron sight with 60 rounds, and I don't know, it wasn't worth it. It just was not worth trying to get 60, especially when I wasn't able to hit my shots. So I put on the sight, obviously, and I had to give up my 60 round because it was too slow with 60 round. But to be honest, 45 is just perfect, and I have the ability to reload pretty quickly even with the speed mag. And overall, it still kills pretty quick. You could probably kill 3 people, 4 people even, if you're hitting all your shots with 45 bullets. You do have 5 less bullets than FFAR in total, but I mean, look, the FFAR shoots really fast, so to be honest, you're probably running out of those 50 bullets a lot quicker than the Groza. Again, the Groza feels like a more stable weapon, a lot more easier to control now. I mean, yeah, the FFAR back then was that gun, it had it all, but right now I feel like it's a little weird given its current state. But it's still obviously the top tier weapon. I've seen a lot of people, when the change for the Groza initially happened, or the buff that happened for it, I saw a lot of people experiment with it, calling it the new FFAR, but then with the revert of that change, I've seen a lot of people go back to the FFAR, so the FFAR again remains king. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we do end up giving up on the FFAR. Right now, I think it's highly unlikely because people are just finding workarounds, the nerfs. But when the FFAR, or if the FFAR actually receives the nerf that it's supposed to, the Groza 100% will come out on top. And I think this is more like a balanced FFAR, if that makes sense. I think this is what the FFAR should be, because I don't feel like it kills extremely fast. It doesn't shoot extremely fast, and at range, it's kind of weird. I know there's probably a class setup out there that makes it so you have a little bit more range. Maybe the barrel, maybe something, but I feel like this gun is an overall balanced weapon if it's going to be used as a secondary. But I don't know, man. With that being said, let's get into FFAR. And then we have the recoil pattern for the FFAR, which, to be honest, bro, if you look at it from side to side to the Groza, it literally looks the exact same. Like, tell me that doesn't look the exact same. It looks very similar. Obviously, when you put on attachments or whatnot, it gets easier to control. And to be fair, this FFAR actually, in truth, doesn't have that much recoil because it's so easy to control. But now, with the certain variation of class setups, some classes might be harder to control than others, obviously. Specifically, since some key attachments for recoil control get taken away. I mentioned this in my last video for the FFAR. If you want to use the agency suppressor on the FFAR, you have to give up your foregrip, your field agent foregrip. But if you want to keep that field agent foregrip, you have to give up the agency suppressor. You have to put on some other things. And I don't know, man. The state of the FFAR is so weird right now, but the gun is like, the key things that make it good are still there. Like, if you change a few attachments, you still get the versatility. The damage didn't get changed. The recoil, yeah, a little bit, depending on the class setup. And then the fire rate is still the same. Like, the problem with the nerfs that they're trying to give the FFAR is that they're not doing the right thing. So that's why this gun still remains on top, and it still remains like the most used secondary, which sucks because I don't want this gun to be up there. And I have a problem with the double AR meta, and I know it's kind of ironic for me to say that the Groza could be the next thing, but to be honest, I don't really want any of them to be meta, because I miss using SMGs. Or, I mean, you could still use SMGs, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people feel like without FFAR, they're going to get fucking gunned. But, like, you know, I would still use a Bullfrog or Mac or whatever, because it's the SMG. I don't know. Right now, I'm not using them, but I would definitely still use them. You know, they're not bad at all. But, you know, I don't know. Sometimes you just feel like if you're not using these weapons, you're at a disadvantage, which kind of sucks. That's specifically true with the FFAR, because the FFAR is still pretty ridiculous, and they're not nerfing the things that should be nerfed. And we know this, which sucks, because we know this, but the devs apparently don't know this, which sucks. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just really weird. The state of this game is so weird right now. Like, we got changes to the guns that needed to be changed, but they weren't the right changes. And now we're still stuck with the same meta that we had from damn near the beginning of the season. And Season 3, I don't know, man. If they don't change this meta in Season 3, this is going to be a boring-ass season, bro. I cannot do another season of these weapons. We need some variety. We need variety. But anyways, man. The FFAR, bro, obviously, we already know what it does. It's everyone's go-to weapon right now, but I'm telling you, man, make room for the Groza, because this gun is definitely something to not be slept on. This gun right here, if you want to spice up your gameplay, this is it. I'll be honest, bro, I had a lot more fun using the Groza than the FFAR. And it felt about the same. I didn't really feel like I was at a disadvantage with the Groza. It sucks to say, though, like, that another AR is, like, the closest thing to the FFAR than, like, an SMG. Because, you know, we want to be able to use SMG as secondaries. But the fact that, like, another AR as a secondary is a lot closer to FFAR than an actual SMG, it's kind of sad. I don't know. But at least that isn't at the FFAR. I'm not asking for the Groza to get nerfed, but I just feel like, unfortunately, if the FFAR truly gets nerfed like how it's supposed to, that the double AR meta will not change unless they buff SMGs. But that could also mean that some SMGs might be too broken. Like, I don't know, man. Knowing Raven Software, they're going to mess something up, bro. And then you already know what's going to happen next season. We're going to have another broken SMG. It's going to be the best thing. Everyone's going to use it. We're going to get annoyed by it. We're going to want change. You know how it goes, man. It's the damn cycle. You want to know why? Because they don't know what the hell they're doing over there. I'm sorry for ranting. But yes, the Groza is one of those weapons, bro, that I highly recommend you using. I know some of you guys have already tried it out. Maybe some of you guys have a negative opinion on it, but bro, trust me, bro. This is not something to be sleeping on. This is not something to be hating on, because it could definitely compete with FFAR. Right now, currently, I'm going to get asked this question. I get asked this question sometimes in these comparison videos. What gun I would prefer right now? And to be honest, just because I could use the agency suppressor, I would prefer the Groza. But everything that I'm saying really, though, like, kind of, like, doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, the gun that suits you the best is because of you. Your personal preference matters when using these weapons. Sure, the FFAR might be the best on paper, but if the Groza feels a lot better in your hands and you feel more comfortable with the Groza, then the Groza is your weapon. For me, since I can use the Aegis suppressor and I feel fast and it's still really good, the Groza is my gun right now. And to be honest, this is definitely going to be the gun I'm be rocking from now on, because it just feels a lot better. It just feels a lot more complete, and it feels a lot more balanced. Again, like I mentioned earlier, and the same thing with the M16. I feel like these are like the balanced versions of the top tier weapons. M16, I feel like that's the more balanced version of the AUG. I know some of you guys might have disagreements with that, but I personally don't think the M16 is superior to the AUG, and I definitely think it's a lot more balanced. The Groza definitely, in some aspects, isn't more superior than the FFAR. It's more of a balanced gun, but it's still really good. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys personally think about that Groza, and would you prefer it over the FFAR? And yeah, talk to you guys later. Peace.